Okay, guys, coming in at my number 5 is The Babysitter Killer Queen. If you haven't seen the first one, you need to watch that one before you watch this one because it might be a little confusing. Basically what it is in the first film, it's just called The Babysitter, and this young boy, well, he's not really young, he's in like middle to high school, and he's the only person on his block that has a babysitter, and he just thinks she's like a regular human, like nothing more than that. But the night comes to where his parents are going out of town, and she is watching him for the weekend, and she invites her friends over, and he stays up late to see what she does when he's sleeping. And he sees that her friends have come over to his house and are playing spin the bottle until it takes a twist. It's about this cult, I guess you can say. They are trying to do a ritual so that they get what they want after drinking blood. So after he thinks that they're defeated, he thinks nothing of it. A few years later happens, and now there's a second movie. So it's pretty much the same thing, but it's obviously different, with different characters, different plot, different like area, I guess you could say. So I like this movie just because it's kind of something different than I'm used to watching. Like, I'm not used to watching this kind of film, if that makes sense. I don't even think that there's many films like this. So I'm in my early 20s, and this is kind of pushing it for me, like a watch for my age. I feel like this is kind of more for the younger crowd. My sister, though, is a year older than me. She liked it. Maybe it's just depends on your taste of film that you like to watch. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and check out this edgy cold movie vibe thing, go ahead and watch this. It's on Netflix.
All right, coming in at number 5 for me is going to be Class Action Park. It is a documentary on HBO Max. So New Jersey's Action Park earns a reputation as the world's most insanely dangerous amusement park. So basically it's about an amusement park that was super dangerous, and they say it was like pretty much ran by kids, and people died and got hurt, and yeah, it's just about that. It's the crazy story of how it was built and how there was like no rules really, and sketchy stuff was going on behind the scenes as well as like at the park. But yeah, it was just super good. I didn't think I'd actually be into like a documentary about an amusement park. Like, it just didn't seem like it's that interesting, even though I like amusement parks. But this one was actually really good. I was really into it. I think the way they, told the whole story and stuff was really good, as well as I never even heard of this place. So I didn't know any of this went on or this was an actual thing. But for me, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's going to be Class Action Park on HBO Max.
Okay, so coming in at my number 4 is Love and Monsters. It has Dylan O'Brien in it, which I like just because I like Dylan O'Brien. I really, really remember him from the Teen Wolf series on MTV. This isn't on any streaming service. You would have to find a different way of watching it. If you wanted to watch it, you'd have to rent it. I'm not gonna go too much into this just because we did review this movie, so if you wanna go see that, we'll put a tag up here and we'll link it down below if you're interested. So basically he is in his little colony in a bunker underground because monsters have overtaken the world, and it's pretty dangerous outside. Before they had to go into hiding underground, he had a girlfriend, and they got separated when they went to different colonies. While he's in the bunker, he starts to have feelings for her again when he finds her over the radio, when he finds her colony over the radio. So he decides to take an adventure and basically walk or hike his way over to her colony. But you come to find that not all of the monsters are bad. Some are bad, but some are good, and this and that. This is a good film for me. I really enjoyed it. Not just because he's in it, but because of the whole plot line. Not the plot line, but like everything that's been happening in the movie. If you want to know what I mean by that, just go ahead and check it out on this channel.
All right, coming in number 4 is going to be My Octopus Teacher on Netflix. It's another documentary. This one's really good as well, obviously. So it says a diver swims with an octopus that lives in a kelp forest off of the coast of South Africa. So this one was really good. This one I seen, I think on the Joe Rogan podcast, someone was talking about it. And then my mom brought it up and said she watched it and told me to watch it. So I checked it out. Super good. It's basically this guy, he basically like falls in love pretty much with this octopus from like when it was young until it's older, and it's crazy how their relationship was. And you basically get to see the beginning of the octopus's life all the way until the end of its life, and just a journey and just a relationship that this thing had with the human. It's pretty crazy. And there's a lot of footage too that it's shown, and I'm surprised like this guy, if he had a crew or whatever, but he was able to get a lot of footage, and it just shows kind of how this octopus did things, even as far as getting away from predators like sharks and stuff. It's crazy because it's almost like romantic in a way of how the octopus and the guy interacts and their relationship. I don't know about romantic, but it's like poetic in a sense. But yeah, that was really good. And that's gonna be My Octopus Teacher on Netflix.
So coming in at number 3, it's a documentary called Blackfish. This one was it was kind of hard to watch. It wasn't at the same time, but basically it's about SeaWorld and their orca whales. It focuses on the orca killer whale, Tilikum. He was captured out at sea and brought to a different, basically like SeaWorld, but not SeaWorld. So while he's there at that other SeaWorld, he ends up killing someone. And they immediately shut down because they know they don't have the resources, they don't have the proper swimming area for the whales there, and they know what they're doing, it will be wrong to hold them into captivity when it's like a small swimming pool basically. So SeaWorld reaches out and buys Tilikum even after knowing what happened. But they do it anyways. And if you don't know it about SeaWorld, you should kind of like look into it, Google it, this and that, because it's kind of very, very sad, honestly. I think, in my opinion, it's animal cruelty. They should be shut down. But it just covers everything that happened with SeaWorld, with whales that were there, Tilikum, and all of that. So if you guys want to and have strong feelings about this, or just want to like help out SeaWorld, or help out the whales at SeaWorld, we will leave a link down below to go sign a waiver to shut SeaWorld down. I have signed it. I think all of you should as well. Don't want to make you do anything you don't want to, obviously. But if you feel strongly about this and you're against animal cruelty, I think you should really do that.
All right, coming in at number 3 is going to be The Vow. Once again, another docuseries on HBO Max. And this one was really good. I feel like it might have been a little too long, but it was really good. So it says, following the experiences of people deeply involved in a self-improvement group, Nexium, an organization under siege with charges including sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy brought against its highest members and founder, Keith Raniere. So, yeah. It says exactly what it's about. Again, another one that's crazy that has so much footage. I don't understand why these people filmed like everything. There's so many conversations that you get to hear. Yeah, it's crazy. But this one is really, really, really good because I like when there's a lot of footage and there's a lot of stuff that you can actually see rather than just somebody telling you a side of a story. You actually get to see a lot of it. It's crazy because it's just like it's a cult. It's a self-improvement group where they were really actually helping people and doing a lot of good, I guess you can say. But the main guy, the founder, he's like, he's a crazy guy. And you just get deeper and deeper into the sketchiness of this group. And it's not really the group. It is the group, but it's actually like a secret society or a secret group within the group. And a lot of weird stuff goes on, like slave stuff, like sex slaves, and a lot of, like it says, sex trafficking. And yeah, it gets really weird, really twisted. Yeah, I don't want to get too into it just because obviously if you guys haven't seen it, you guys should definitely check it out. But that's another, like I said, docuseries on HBO Max, and it's called The Vow.
So my number 2 is Hilary Halloween. It features Adam Sandler and so many other great actors and actresses in this film. Well, I guess there's mostly actors in this, I guess you could say. But yeah, this was great overall. It's a good movie to start off the Halloween season with. Even not start off, it's just a good movie overall to watch, even if it's like not even Halloween, if that makes sense. Like you could watch it in the beginning of the year, in the middle of the year, after Halloween. It's just a good movie overall, and it's a good movie for anybody, age, maturity, anything like that, except for a piece in the beginning. But yeah, this was a great film. It was funny. So yeah, this was just a great film overall with all the actors and just the whole movie as a whole. I did a review on this movie as well, so I think that's about as much as I'll touch on it. So if you want to go check that out, we'll leave it up top again or link down below. If you want to finish watching this, you can go ahead in the description and click it and then watch it after this.
All right, coming in number 2 is going to be The Boys Season 2. This show's crazy. Season 1 was crazy. So this is actually on Amazon Prime, if you guys didn't know, or Amazon Video. But yeah, super good show. This show's crazy because it's like, you know, if you're into like Marvel or even DC, like any type of superhero stuff, this one's cool because it's like edgy and way more for adults, I guess you can say, rather than Marvel and stuff is more kid friendly. Yeah, so this season was, to me, was really good. It's a lot, it just had everything. It had the superhero stuff. It had, you know, the crazy scenes of like, you know, blood and like people dying, and there's also emotion with this season that ends up happening. And to me, the story alone is just good. That's the thing. This isn't just a crazy over-the-top superhero film or superhero show, but it's rather like actually a good story. You can follow along, and it's much more than just a superhero show. That's like the biggest thing. Like, you don't necessarily need to be into superheroes or heroes or people with superpowers to be into this show, just because it's so much more than that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next season. It's one of my favorite shows that's going on right now. But yeah, that's gonna be The Boys on Amazon Prime. Go check that out.
Okay, last but not least, my number 1 is Schitt's Creek Season 6. I am so sad to say that after watching this season of the season 6, they will not be making any more seasons because they wanted to leave it off as a high note and wanted to give the viewers what they wanted. But I want more. Like, yeah, you left it on a high note, and I'm just curious like where they would take it if they were to continue it. But basically, it's a sitcom. It's funny and there are sad moments at the same time. My sister actually got me watching this. I was like, this is just not gonna be good. Like, I'm not gonna like it. But 6 seasons later, and I want more, and they're not gonna give us more. So yeah. So basically, what this show is it's about a wealthy family who loses all of their money, but finds out that they do own real estate in this small town called Schitt's Creek, and they own a motel. So they have to up and leave and take what little belongings they have left after it all got taken from them and move into this little hotel. And they go from riches to rags rather than rags to riches, essentially. But it's just funny because you get to see them adapt from this wealthy lifestyle to just being a regular human and not having a lot of glam and glory. And it's just so good and so sad at the end, just because sad in a good way, not in a bad way. Like, it ended off on a very high note. And sorry, I stand corrected. They own the city Schitt's Creek. They don't own the hotel. Well, technically they own the hotel since they own the whole city of what little there is, but they don't just own the hotel. They own the whole city, and then they stay in the hotel in Schitt's Creek.
All right, and coming in at number 1, this might be my favorite show I've seen all year. I can't remember everything I've seen, but I really love this one. And I love the one they did prior to this in 2018, I think. But anyways, I'm talking about The Haunting of Bly Manor. It's a series on Netflix. This show is incredible to me. I really love it a lot because I was going in, I don't really watch trailers too much. I was going in thinking that this was just going to be a horror, scary, supernatural show, and it's so much more than that. It's really ends up being like a romance, which is crazy because I'm not even the guy that's typically into that stuff, but the way they did it, mixing it in with supernatural, horror, scary a little bit, like it's not really scary, it's more of like a creepy vibe. So what I mean by it's not scary, it's more like there's not really jump scares or like monsters all crazy like that. It's more of a creepy vibe. There are ghosts and there are this and there, but it's not the typical thing you think of. This was done way more artistic to me, way more like deep, especially with the relationships of everybody and how love at the end of the day is tying it all together for the reasons why people are doing this or doing that. And yeah, and love in different ways, not just in the boyfriend girlfriend but this is just love in general. And I like how this show also, like, you have a main character, but then each episode you kind of get the story behind another character that's in the show. So you kind of get their backstory and why maybe they're doing things that they're doing, or why this is happening, why that's happening. And the show does a lot of going back and forth and past, future, and it just takes you along a journey that's incredible to me. In the beginning, you think it's just scary, and you think people are creepy and this person must be, dealing with supernatural things, or these kids or this or that. But the more you go on the show towards the end and stuff, you kind of figure out why things are going on. And again, like I said for my Octopus Teacher, this is another one that's like poetic in a sense of how things happen and how things go and people's decisions that they make. But yeah, I really enjoyed this show. This show is incredible. Like I said, it's definitely going to be in my top 5 for the end of the year. It might be number 1. it could be number one now. I don't remember exactly everything that I've seen, but yeah, this one is so good. So good. And the one I was talking about prior that these same people made was The Haunting of Hill House. Another incredible one. I don't know which one I like more, but yeah. But anyways, though, this one is on Netflix. It's called The Haunting of Bly Manor. You have to watch it if you haven't seen it. To me, it's the best show of the year so far that I can remember, like I said, but it's one of them for sure. But yeah, that's gonna be my top 5 for October.
All right, so after seeing all of our top 5 picks for the month of October, we are going to give you the total of the streaming services, like how many accounts we have on each streaming services. So all of my accounts will be the same. The only one that's changing is Netflix. So for Apple TV Plus, I have 2. For Netflix, it was 18, but after adding the 4 from today, it goes to 22. Hulu, I have 3, and HBO Max, I have 5.
And for me, Apple TV Plus is gonna stay at 10. Netflix is gonna add 2 more, so now it's gonna be at 11. Hulu stays at 6. HBO Max goes up 2, so now it's at 4. And Amazon gets on the board for me with 1.
So if you're doing the math and you're kind of like, wait, what? That doesn't add up. If you're new to this channel, it's because some of our picks don't have a streaming service. So for instance, one of my picks was a movie. It wasn't on any streaming service, so it doesn't get down on the counts for any of the streaming services. And his counts are going to be lower than mine because he has had a lot of those picks.
Yeah. But anyways, that's me it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, definitely leave a thumbs up. We appreciate that. Subscribe if you haven't already. And comment down below the best things that you guys have seen in October. It doesn't need to be something that came out in October. It could just be anything that you watched for the first time in October.
Yeah.
Let us know down below. And let us know if you've seen any of the stuff that we've seen and your thoughts on that. But either way, my name's Matt.
My name's Nicole.
And we'll catch you next time.